Okay, so I'll try to keep this video as short as I can. I just wanted to show an update since I'm finally done pretty much with this e-bike. I wanted to show an update on it. So it's got a lot of cool features now. It's pretty much done. It's a 750 watt 36 volt motor with a 950 watt hour battery, which is pretty good. It's a 26.4 amp hour battery and 21 speed shifting. I recently took the controller apart and activated regen braking. I had to solder a wire on there to a ground section, solder two pins together basically so that when you hit the brakes, the regen activates. It's not a variable regen, it's just regen. And I only discovered this controller had that when I realized that this thing stops at 27 miles an hour. It starts regen braking automatically at 27 miles an hour when you try to go past it. So I realized that the controller has that capability, so I thought might as well make it to where I can enable it normally, like by hitting the brakes. So I did. I took it apart. Simple, easy to find. They're actually labeled on the PCB. They're labeled E, ABS, and ground, and those are the only two you have to connect for it. Simple. Got a, just little key lock instead of my chain. I still have the chain with me, just don't have to use it if I don't need to, unless I need to extend. It's beefier though. What else was I going to talk about? Yes, so I have my headlight, which is down here. So I have a regular headlight now instead of those little flashlights, as you can see, and I have that basket. A friend gave that to me. It was like $12. They gave it to me. They had some extras. But I wound up putting the headlight switch in the switch mount that this switch came in. So remember, this is my blinker switch, which I now have the front blinkers. They're there on both sides. So, and they work. All the blinkers work. I installed these brake light levers, or not levers, switches. So I did wind up, as I mentioned in another video, having to put my own switches in for brake light. These are always closed circuit. So the button has to be depressed, let off the button for the lights to come on, which it's wired that way even right now without the key. Those brake lights are coming on. That's the way all the momentary switch stuff is. It works without the key, like the horn, which it has a full horn, which is mounted here now. Full-size scooter horn. So anything on a momentary switch works without the key, which is good. Like the horn and the blinkers, or not the blinkers. The blinkers actually do not work without a key because they're not on a momentary switch. Didn't want some random person walking by and hitting the blinker and then just leaving it. Walking by and beeping the horn's one thing, but draining my power is another. So yeah, it's pretty much done and I'm quite happy with it. The only reason I've been thinking about activating regen braking is because getting this little thing to stay tuned is annoying. And I think I've already, no, actually I haven't. I still got good brake pads. I don't know, I guess it's cable stretch where it's still a brand new cable, but getting this thing to stay tuned is annoying. I don't know why, but yeah. I did wind up having to switch the front axle out to another one that I already had laying around. Yeah, I'm lucky I've got so many bicycle parts laying around. Not like full-size bicycles or anything, just like that rear disc for the brake was laying around already. I have 3 or 4 of these little axles laying around, front and rear, for quick release. These and more levers, stuff like that. I've got more gear shifters laying around. Those ones though, I didn't have any more thumb shifters laying around. I had to buy these. The wiring harness is all done up nice. And what's great about now that the wiring harness is done, that's the hardest part. Now, if I want to replace a component or upgrade a component, the wiring is already laid out. All I gotta do is snip the wire to a blinker or whatever right here, just the 2 wires, install a new one, wire it up, loom it back together, make it look nice, and there we go. Like, nothing to it. I do still need to work on the kickstand. That's why you see it's on a piece of cardboard right now, to kind of help it so that it can sink in on one side and not as much on the other. It keeps bending or something. I'm gonna end up making it welding it better or doing something, or just replacing it with one that I modify off of a Chinese scooter. I might modify one of those to mount here somehow, because they're a little sturdier. I still think I need a welder to do any of it, even to modify or make this one beefier, or to modify another one. I think I gotta get a welder. But yeah, I'm very happy with it though. And so this thing, like I said, with my current motor controller, it is good enough. I'm never gonna have any problems out of it, other than the fact that it's in a black sealed cooler bag. You know, it could overheat, so I've still got to solve that problem. But it's a good enough controller. I shouldn't have to switch it out unless I want it to go faster. And even then, just switching the controller out is not going to get me any faster. It might get me some more torque off the line, get me up to speed faster. But if I really want to go faster, I got to upgrade the battery and or the motor, which I don't want to go faster. This thing tops out at 20 miles an hour. This is a bicycle frame, a little bicycle frame. Well, it's a tall ass bicycle frame, but it's a bicycle frame with the quick release little thin axle on the front. I don't need to go any faster than 20. 20 is still too fast for this little axle. I've had many of them bend on actual beefy mountain bikes easily with me just pedaling them. So yeah, 20 miles an hour is fine. It starts kicking you back at 27, hitting the brakes, slowing you down, keeping you at 27, and then you can just coast till you get slower and just use your throttle. And that's it. This thing doesn't go faster than 20 miles an hour. I can pedal up to 30 miles an hour when I'm really trying, but this thing won't let me get past 27. I really crank and it starts hitting the brakes the harder I crank. And that's the great thing about having a full 21 speed. I can get this thing going very fast, even as heavy as it is, just from pedaling. I use the electric system to get me up to 20, and then I take over pedaling from there once it's already up to speed. It makes it easier to get up to 30. Because beforehand, even if I was on a super lightweight bicycle, getting up to 30 in my hometown, going up and down Main Street in front of the police station just for fun, shits and giggles, going 30 in a 20 mile an hour speed limit Main Street, I was doing that just for shits and giggles. Even that took a lot of energy, going from stop to start all the way to from no speed to 30 takes a lot of energy on a lightweight bicycle. So doing that on here I don't think I'd be able to have enough energy to do it on this heavy bicycle, but luckily I can, where it still has the electric. Anyways, I'm rambling quite a bit. I just wanted to show off the finished product. You know, there's things here and there I might do in the future, like I might get a 48 volt battery, one of the just pre-built kit ones, like 12, 13 amp hour, put right here and link it up to where I can switch between 36 or 48, because in here is my built-in battery. But it'd be neat to have the 48, because then yeah, I would have a higher speed, but I could only go as fast as 27. It's either built into the wheel, or it's either built into the motor or the motor controller. I honestly don't know which. It could be either or. Some motors have a speed limiter built into them. So I don't really care which. But yeah, I mean 25 would be nice, to be able to go 25 just a little bit faster. But yeah, one of these days I might switch out the motor controller, but in the meantime I'm quite happy with the one I got. Yeah, it's got a full security system, which is nice. See, And then if you bump it or anything, which it's a windy day, so the wind's liable to set it off. I had that happen on a Chinese scooter. I installed a security system just like that on. The wind rocked the scooter over and kept setting it off, and I had to turn the security system off in my driveway. Luckily, it was just in my driveway. I could just crack the window and check on it. Nobody was going to steal that thing anyways. It was too junky looking, the old scooter. But yeah, so it has full tail lights. Okay, so I guess it's not 100% finished. I still need to make better braces for these, both of these. I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're gonna hold all the weight that I need them to hold. But they're still not, so they've bent down as far down as they can bend. That's why they're at a slight angle. They were originally up higher, but they can't go any lower because of the way I have it. There's a bar right here, and it's up against this bar. They can't bend any further back. But I still want to support them a little better. As you can see way up there on the front, there's nothing. And that's on both sides. On the front bar, there's nothing. So that still could do with some support. And that's what I'm gonna do eventually. For now, they're fine. They don't need much. I've got my little tail tassel, just a jewelry or a costume earring somebody gave me. The other matching one wasn't in the bunch of costume earrings they give me, so I just put it on there as a tail. Yeah, this thing's actually pretty nice. It goes pretty fast. Quite happy with it. That's all, though. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Leave a comment.